Okay, now let's come back. After the panel proceedings, a panel report was prepared, and one of the parties decided to appeal. At this moment, the panel report will not be submitted to the DSB for adoption. It will wait. It will wait for the appellate body report, right? Then my next question comes. Then comes my next question. After the appellate body report is finalized, what reports will be submitted to the DSB for adoption? Just the AB report or together with the panel report? Together with, right? Look. Look here. This question, this sentence. Within 30 days following circulation of the appellate body report, the appellate body report and the panel report as upheld, modified, or reversed by the appellate body are adopted by the DSB. There's one important thing I need to highlight. Does not accept the panel report together with the AB report will be submitted to the DSB for adoption. Just to be submitted. Submitted for adoption. But in the end, look, in the end, will the panel report be adopted by the DSB? In the appellate body proceedings, I repeat the question again. In the appellate body proceedings, will the panel report be adopted in the end by the DSB? Yes or no?
Yes, no.
It's a little bit confusing. The panel report together with the AB report will be submitted, correct? But will the panel report be adopted by the DSB, yes or no? No. Why not? Because the panel report will be upheld, modified, or reversed by the appellate body. So, never omit the word as, upheld, modified, or reversed. The original panel report will not be adopted by the DSB, right? Because it will be upheld, modified, or reversed by the appellate body. The original panel report will never be adopted by the DSB anymore. Which report will be adopted in the end? Which report? the AB report? Yes. The panel report, yes or no? No. Although it's submitted to the DSB, the original panel report is submitted to the DSB, but it will not be adopted by the DSB. What is adopted? The appellate body. Report. Okay. Move on. Next part, implementation and enforcement. This procedure is very important. It's called the arbitration on reasonable period of time for implementation. Let's say right now, an AB report was finalized and was adopted by the DSB. Next stage will be the stage of implementation, right? Implementation. Then the question comes, within a period of time, the report will be implemented. Then what period of time is reasonable? For the implementation, only 30 days is enough. If it is impracticable to comply immediately, the member concerned has a reasonable period of time in which to do so. So the question would be, what is the reasonable period of time? Who decides the reasonable period of time? Who decides? If the parties disagree with each other, who decides? They can always turn to an arbitration under Article 21.3c. And that's why we call arbitration under 21.3c is called reasonable period of time for implementation arbitration. Okay, good. Another important question is, does an Article 21.3c arbitration award need to be adopted by the DSB? Just like the panel reports and AB report, will they be adopted by the DSB? The answer is no. Unlike panel or appellate body reports, an Article 21.3c arbitration award is not adopted by the DSB. It will be implemented directly because it's just an award of arbitration. Okay, move on. This on this page, on this slide. Oh, not this. This on this page. Let's look at disagreement on implementation. Right now, the situation is like this. The reasonable period of time has already been determined. let's say, for example, 6 months. 6 months for the losing party to implement the AB report, 6 months. After the 6 months of implementation, who will verify the implementation? Is it okay? Let's check whether the implementation is good or not. Huh? Why? Always like this. Right now, let's move on to next stage. I'll give you the situation again. I'll describe it again. 6 months of implementation period has passed. Right now, the complainant will check on the quality of the implementation, whether it is implemented well, or look, whether any implementing measure is taken, or whether the implementing measure taken is fully WTO consistent. The winning party will check, right? Good. Then, they may disagree with each other. The losing party said, I already implemented it. It's WTO consistent. While the winning party said, no, not WTO consistent. They will disagree with each other. Then, who will resolve this kind of disagreement? The disagreement shall be decided through recourse to the procedures set out in Articles 4 to 20 of the DSU. Then my question is, what's Articles 4 to 20 of the DSU about? Actually, it's about the panel proceedings of the WTO dispute settlement. Okay? Just the panel proceedings, not the AB proceedings included. Just the panel proceedings, which means we will go back to the panel proceedings again to decide whether the implementation is WTO consistent. It's becoming complex, right? Wherever possible, resort to the original panel. The original panel. Good. Let's move on to the next slide. What's the scope of jurisdiction of an Article 21.5 compliance panel? Compliance panel. Just now I mentioned to resolve the disagreement on the implementation of AB report, they have to go back to another panel proceedings, right? But this kind of panel proceedings are not like the original one. We will give it a specific name. What's the name of this kind of proceedings? We call it what? We'll call it, look here. We call it compliance proceedings. The new panel proceedings will be called compliance proceedings to check whether the compliance is WTO consistent. So we call it compliance proceedings. Then the panel is called compliance panel. In compliance proceedings, we will have a compliance panel as opposed to the original panel. Okay? Good. Then what's the scope of the compliance panel? What's the scope of jurisdiction of the compliance panel? I'll give you the answer directly. The panel was not merely mandated to review if the revised measure had dropped the WTO inconsistent aspects that the original dispute pertained to, but was also mandated to consider whether the revised measure was consistent with other provisions. Here, this is point number 1. This is point number 2. And this is point number 3. 3 points. That's the scope of jurisdiction of a compliance panel. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Next question. Can the compliance panel proceedings be appealed? Can the compliance panel proceedings be appealed? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, the answer is yes. Okay. Can also be appealed. Just like the original panel proceedings. It's called the compliance panel proceedings, and it can also be appealed. And we can also have another appellate body proceedings. Okay. So it's becoming even complicated, right? So many proceedings, so many procedures. Okay, let's move on to next important question. How will the DSB decide on the authorization to retaliate? Again, how will the DSB decide on the authorization to retaliate? Now the situation is like this. The losing party finally failed to comply with the AB report. Failed to do so. Then the winning party will be dissatisfied, will not be satisfied. What will the winning party do? It will retaliate against the losing party, right? And we mentioned this before. You still remember arbitration? How many kinds of arbitration are there in WTO dispute settlement? How many? First, we mentioned just now, for the reasonable period of time for implementation, arbitration, right? And we also have this one. Article 22.6 for the appropriate level of retaliation. The winning party would like to retaliate against the losing party. Then, what's the appropriate level to retaliate, right? The two parties also disagree with each other. Then we will go to Article 22.6, arbitration, for the determination of the appropriate level of retaliation. It's even more complex, right? And we've also got another arbitration. We've got 3 in total. Period of implementation, level of retaliation. Another one. We've got another one. Later, we will come to the 3rd one. I'll leave a suspension here. Okay, let's move on. Look here. The arbitration under Article 22.6 of the DSU for the determination of appropriate level of retaliation. Okay, this is. Look here. A second arbitration or appeal is not permitted, which means one arbitration will be the final. There will not be a second arbitration or appeal. Okay, good. Then look at this paragraph. There is an important issue. It's about the sequencing issue. Sequencing issue means 排序问题, 顺序问题, sequencing issue. You can review it after class because it's even more complicated. I don't think I can explain it clearly. At this moment, okay? You can review it after class. It's not that difficult. It's just about the order or sequencing of 2 proceedings. One is the implementation review procedure. The other is the authorization for retaliation measures. What does implementation review procedure mean? Implementation review procedure just means the 21.5 compliance panel proceedings. Equals implementation review procedure. I will not write it down. These 2 are the same. Okay. Then, between this procedure, the conflict between this procedure and which one? And the authorization for retaliation procedure. Which one prevails? This one prevails. This procedure prevails over this procedure. Okay. Let's move on. Here, the application of the suspension of concessions must be temporary. I retaliated against the losing party, but the suspension of concessions is just temporary. Once the losing party complies with the WTO agreement, then the retaliations will be dropped. Temporary, okay. Let's move on to next page. This page, okay. That's everything for AB proceedings, rather complicated than the panel proceedings and the consultations, right? There are so many proceedings, as you can see. 1, 2 arbitrations involved. Then compliance panel proceedings. Then retaliation proceedings. So many proceedings, as you can see. There are 4 involved, right? 4. There's one more missing here. But it's not for appellate body proceedings. It's for the challenges faced by the WTO dispute settlement. For this slide, I will not mention it in detail. You can review it after class. Very easy, okay? Then let's move on directly to section 7, challenges to WTO dispute settlement. And this part does not appear in the textbook. Some of the content of section 7 did not appear in the textbook I sent to you. So I need to draw your attention to this. Okay. This one. For this paragraph, why do we say why is the WTO dispute settlement system substantively and politically unsustainable? It is unsustainable. Sustainable means in Chinese called 可持续性的 sustainable development. Why do we call the WTO dispute settlement substantively and politically unsustainable? Why? Here, substantively and politically unsustainable because of the, look here, excessive reliance by WTO members on adjudication instead of seeking political agreement on new rules to resolve problems arising in trade relations. Another question, how many branches are there in a state system? How many branches are there? How many divisions are there in a sovereign system, in a sovereign state? We've got governments, right? We've also got legislators, right? And what else do we have? In a sovereign state, how many branches are there? Government, legislature. What else? What's the last one? What's the remaining one? It's called judicial organ, right? But in WTO, what's the problem? The parties are relying more on the judicial branch while neglected the legislature part. And that's why it's unsustainable. Okay. Now let's move on to the last page. And it's about this important procedure. It's called MPIA. What's the full name of MPIA? Because the paralysis of the AB and the panel reports have to be appealed into the void. Void means 空, 虚空, 虚无. Because there's no appellate body existing anymore. So, paralysis of the AB proceedings. And that's why several members together invented an alternative proceeding. It's called this one, the multi-party interim appeal arbitration arrangement. And that's the arbitration. I omitted here. Again, let's repeat the name. Multi-party interim appeal arbitration arrangement. Actually, there are two A's. Multi-party interim appeal arbitration arrangement. That's the third arbitration. Okay. And in which article is this arbitration provided? Which article? In which article? Provided by Article 25 of the DSU as an alternative means of dispute settlement. So, we can see here, 21.5 arbitration. Look, in 21.5, it's called compliance panel proceedings. Why it's 21.5 arbitration? You go back to check on this provision. Okay. What's the difference between MPIA? It's an alternative of what? Of AB proceedings. This arrangement is an alternative of AB proceedings, just like the second instance of proceedings, right? Then what's the difference between MPIA and appellate body proceedings? What's the difference? The difference is, okay, the MPIA appeal arbitration awards are final and binding on the parties without requiring adoption by the DSB. For AB reports, they will have to be adopted by the DSB, right? Then, for the MPIA arbitration awards, do they need to be adopted by the DSB? No. And some other information. How many standing appeal arbitrators are there under MPIA? How many? How many? Look, 10 standing appeal arbitrators. There are 10 standing appeal arbitrators. In AB, there are 7 members, right? Then in MPIA, there are 10 standing appeal arbitrators. They are called arbitrators. Then as of the 1st October 2020, 24 WTO members are a party to MPIA. Is China included? Yes, China is a party to MPIA. This is a newly emerged proceedings. Is the United States a party to the MPIA? Is the United States a party to MPIA? Yes or no? You can guess, of course not. Just because the United States paralyzed the AB, and that's why the 24 members generate MPIA. Of course, the United States is not a member to this arrangement. United States is not, but European Union is a member. Okay. So right now, is WTO still working? Still working? Actually, yes, it's still working under the MPIA, But it's just a temporary arrangement. Once the problems of the AB are resolved, then this MPIA is just a temporary mechanism. This MPIA will see its end. Okay. Why is the MPIA a temporary mechanism? MPIA is in place only until a lasting solution to the appellate body crisis is found. Okay. Only in place until a lasting solution to the appellate body crisis is found. Lasting means long-term solution to the appellate body crisis is found. A long-term solution is found. Then this arrangement can be terminated. Have you found the answer to the question of this? No? Then let's check the provisions of Article 21.5 to DSU. Can anyone find the document, the DSU 21.5? The MPIA is established under 21.5 of DSU. Then 21.5 is called compliance panel proceedings. How come? Yeah. Half of the semester has passed. I think it's an appropriate time to assign you the regular assignments. Each of you will have to finish a literature review work, a literature review report, including 20 articles with the English and Chinese articles, 10 of Chinese and English articles each. Okay? And the word limit is 4,000 Chinese characters. The word count. Yes. The word count is 4,000 Chinese characters. Word count. No worry, after class I will resend the requirements into the WeChat group, okay? Then, What questions do you have? Now you may raise your questions. Any questions? I know maybe today you're not in a good condition, some of you. Some of you even caught cold and cannot make it in the class. So I suggest you pay more attention to your own health conditions. Okay. Any more questions? If there are no more questions, we should call it a day. Okay. I'll see you next week. Goodbye for now.